Hi everyone. I'm so glad that you're here to enjoy another great story about autumn. I don't know where you live, but I live here on the Eastern Shore, and our land is pretty flat. We don't have very many hills, and we certainly don't have any mountains. Our story today is about a little girl who goes hiking with her mom and her dad, and she goes up into the mountain. They call it a hill, and sometimes it's hard to decide whether that really big hill is actually a mountain or not. But we'll see the difference there, and I wanted to show you some pictures that are of, where the mountains are, and how it would look in the fall if you were able to take a drive around the country where there are big hills and mountains. And you can look down and see the changing colors in the leaves, and you can see far off into the mountain ranges. So they also have different trees up in the mountains than I have down here on the Eastern Shore. And like this one right here happens to be a birch, which isn't too common down here on the Eastern Shore. And here's a picture of a cattle farm in the fall. And as you can see, they live where it's very hilly also. And then here's a beautiful picture of some hills that are totally covered with the trees that are changing colors in the fall or autumn. So let's find out what this little girl and her family see as they're hiking on this fall or autumn day. And our story is called Hiking Day, and this is by Anne Rockwell. And right away we see a little chipmunk, and he's busy eating a nut. And this would be what it would look like if you were at the top of a really tall hill or a mountain. You would be able to look out and see all of the land all the way around you. It's very beautiful. So she says, "Today, my mother, my father, and I are going to climb Hickory Hill. That's the mountain I see from my window. It looks like a mountain to me, but everyone calls it Hickory Hill. And if you look out her window, you can see how the leaves are starting to change colors in her town. I put on my sturdy sneakers with my floppy hat, and I fill my water bottle." Now this right here is something we'll talk about later. It's called a terrarium. The ride from our house to Hickory Hill takes about 20 minutes. As we drive, I see fewer and fewer houses, and more tall trees. And we also see a pumpkin farm and another farm, because that's the barn. As soon as we park the car, we check the map to see which trail to follow. Trails are like paths cut through the woods. We choose the red trail. It's my favorite color. If you go to a park that has more than one trail that you can hike, they'll color code it for you so you can follow and stay on your path. So here they have the red trail, a blue trail, which is a longer walk, and a green trail, which takes you over near the ponds. The red trail takes you up to the mountain lookout or summit, the very top of the hill. The minute we step on the trail, we are surrounded by tall trees. We can't see the sky. The ground is covered with leaves and ferns. It looks like the inside of my mother's terrarium. It is so quiet. I can hear my sneakers crunching the ground. Why are her sneakers crunching the ground? Have you ever walked in the leaves that have fallen from the trees? That's where you get the crunch. As we climb higher up Hickory Hill, a fat toad leaps in front of us. "Ribbit, ribbit," he says. I kneel down to look at him. His colors match the floor of the woods and the tree bark. He's camouflaging. "Hey," says my father, "where's the red trail marker?" "Uh-oh," says Mom, "where can it be?" Are we lost, I wonder? We look at all the tree trunks around us, and then we notice a prickly porcupine slowly climbing a tree. And as she moves up the trunk, I see a red mark appear. "I found it!" I cry. And that's how they mark the trails. They either mark it with a red spot or a green spot or a blue spot on a tree, or they'll have a little marker posted in the ground, or they'll have maybe a rock that they have left a color code on. So you know, because it's very easy to get lost in the woods if you don't stay on your trail. We begin hiking again, and I hear a loud tap, 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 tap. It sounds like someone is using a hammer. A little chipmunk puts a hickory nut in her mouth and scurries through the leaves. "Getting ready for winter," my father said. What could be making that tapping sound? Here we see some other people hiking also. Look at all the different colors in here. Beautiful. Well, the tap, 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 tap gets louder, and my mother points up, and I see a woodpecker making a hole in the tree. He is looking for insects hiding inside, she tells me. He uses his beak to make the hole bigger and to find good things to eat. "Bugs! Yuck!" said Dad and I. And if you go hiking in the woods and you look at older trees, you'll sometimes see all these holes in the trees, and that's from where different birds, like woodpeckers, peck holes in, looking for the insects that live inside, because that's what they eat. We see some yellow mushrooms and some red berries growing on a bush. But that beautiful, friendly toad is gone. Maybe he decided to hike down Hickory Hill instead of hiking up with us. Soon we stop for a drink. All of a sudden, I know someone is looking at me, and I slowly turn to see a deer with wide antlers. He leaps away so fast that no one sees him but me. The more we walk, the more I notice that the trees are not so tall. The ground is rockier, and now I can see bits of blue sky and even an airplane flying across the sky. Suddenly, the ground below my feet isn't the woodland floor. It's a big, flat rock. We're at the summit, my father tells me, the top of Hickory Hill. We did it, I say. And can you see everything that they are looking at? Here's the town, far, far away, and farms, and lots of hills and lakes and the roadways and the beautiful colors of autumn. We all sit down on the sunny, warm rock. And guess who jumps up to be with us? The friendly, fat toad. The end. Have you ever been able to go up into the mountains? When you're in the forest, you're walking on a lot of dirt because the trees are there and the plants are there, and that's what they need to eat is the dirt. And as you get higher up the mountain, you find less plants, and the trees aren't quite as tall because the wind blows them and stunts their growth. And you get up to the rock. And nothing can grow on rocks like trees and shrubs, things like moss can. But the sun, because it's higher up on the land, the sun is closer to the mountaintop, and it makes that rock nice and warm. And you can sit on it and feel real cozy as you look out and see the beautiful land that's all around you. So if you get a chance to go to the mountains and take a hike, autumn is a great time to do it.